Today, we're going to talk about a topic that I'm very passionate about, and I'm going to show you a tool that's very helpful. We're going to talk about accessibility. As a web developer and web designer, I want to make sure that my website is accessible and 508 compliant to the public, and everyone has a fair experience. There are a lot of people that are low vision and hearing impaired, and you want to make sure that they navigate through the site with the same experience. So, on the website, you have a lot of images, and by default, the images will read to screen readers images, and it doesn't help. So what we do is we generate the description for these type of images, and there's also maps and graphs. Those require long description because they have like name longer description. Today I want to focus on the alt text, which is the shorter description. So if you're a web developer, you would have to do this manually, and it could be very time consuming. So I was so excited to see that there's a tool, and I wanted to try it out. And so I'll let you know how it feels. So the tool is called Alt Text AI. It can automatically generate text, alt text for images for over 130 languages. It can improve SEO and site accessibility. It integrates WordPress, Shopify, Web CMS, and more. And you could also connect it with your Dropbox. So within minutes, you could generate a lot of alt text, and you could even use your tone and integrate Chat GPT. So it has a lot of features. I'm going to take you to the dashboard and show you how to use this. So now we're on the main page of Alt Text AI, and all you do is sign in. And once you sign in, you're going to see your alt text overview. Here I have 0 in the library, what I process over 30 days, which is 0. Up here is where the magic will happen, called images. Once I click into images, you will see the top navigation with the purple button. Images is where you can generate alt text, whether you're uploading it from your file, computer, where you're connecting with a Dropbox, doing bulk images from a CVS file. You could even grab it from an HTML URL page. And this next feature is called Scrape Page. I'm a big fan of because I take a lot of panda photos and I have multiple images. It could simply scrape the page very quickly, and then I could see which image I have alt text for and which I don't. And if I don't, it can quickly generate all that. I could also import in my CSV file with all the images. I could, of course, integrate from Dropbox, like I mentioned, and I could also use a Gmail to export the CSV file. So I'm going to start first with taking an image from a Pinterest site. I like this nail photo, so I'm just going to copy this URL here, and then I'm going to drop it into here. And down here, you see you have the option of alt text language, and I'm going to choose English. So it can generate in 130 languages, which is great. And then you could also request a human review, which would take up 15 credits. I'm going to leave this out for now. And you also have the option of e-commerce data. So what e-commerce data is, let's say I upload tennis shoes and it's a Nike brand, so that's relevant to my audience. I would put in the brand name Nike so that I make sure that when it generates the alt text, it's going to say Nike or the product name Air Jordan. This will help tremendously, especially if I have hundreds of images. That's me not having to type this in manually. The next one would be SEO keywords, and SEO keywords, there's a maximum of 6. For example, if I took a photo from the National Zoo, and I know the panda bear is from National Zoo, there's lots of panda over the world. I want to make sure that I have the name so I can put it in here. In addition to adding in the keywords, I could use negative keywords. I want to exclude it from the alt text. I don't want it to mention any other pandas. I could put, or I don't want it to mention another brand. Then I could put that in here. You could also have a chat GPT modification. So in here, you could write a prompt to tell it to write it in a casual tone, write it in formal, depending on who your audience is. So I'm going to go And I'm just, for this sake, I'm just going to do SEO keywords. I'm going to write in jelly nail, and I'm going to use OPI nail polish. And then here's the image right there. And I just grabbed it there and I add it in here. Scroll down and then add image. That was very, very quick. And now you could see right here, it has the ID, it has my URL, and it says a woman's hand with pink and silver nails painted using OPI polish. And those are the SEO words that I added in. And I could copy, I just click on this and it copied to my clipboard. And I could also go in here and edit it if I want to add something extra. I could say glitter, comma, and then it tells you have a maximum character. And you want to be mindful when you're creating alt text. You're trying to be user friendly, so you don't want to make it a very long description. When you get into a long description, that's something else. You would use a D link, which D links are more used for if you have a map or detailed graph. But for alt text, you want to keep it user friendly. So I'm going to hit update, and there you go. So next I'm going to click back into images and I'm going to choose my own file. I'm going to choose a Panda file, move this out of the way, click open, and then I want to add in National Zoo. And I'm going to add image. So there you go, a panda bear walking in the National Zoo. And I could capitalize that if I wanted to with edit. I could delete the images. So the next one, I love this one. It's my favorite. It's called Scrape the Page. So I click on here and I have so I'm on my Flickr website and I have all my panda image, which you see tons, like hundreds of images here. And I want to check to see if I have alt text. And I know I don't because this is a third party tool, but I'm going to add it in so you could see how it scrapes out all my images. That is incredibly quick. Look how fast it is. It has all my files all here, like 23 on that page, right? And if I click right there, you could see my image and go back, I could jump to the bottom. And I look here and I said generate alt text for the selected. This might take a little bit because I have 23. I would, once again, these are all my pandas from National Zoo. And if I want negative words, I could add it in and use, it says excluded from general text. I'm not going to do that now. And then I could also have the option of overwriting existence one, which I don't have. And I'm going to generate. So this might take a little bit because it's processing. Here we go. I'm going to refresh, which you could see. I just asked for it to scrape the page. So I'm back here. And then you can see that there's 21 images. You could hover over and see all my images here. And it generated all the alt text for it, like a baby gorilla from the National Zoo, and it incorporated all the National Zoo in here. So you can imagine, how much time this will save me. I mean, imagine having to write this, and I could export this out to my email and get all this too, all my alt text, so I could copy and paste into my website. So now I'm going to show you in my Gmail. I just received my download CSV. I scrape the page and I'm going to show you how the result looks like. I simply click on this link and then voila, it goes right into my drop down, my download menu, open up the file so you can see how it looks like. And there you go. It has the URL, has the alt text, everything is here that I could copy and paste in bulk. So now I'm on the main page of AppSumo. So AppSumo is a wonderful place to find lifetime deals. Lifetime deal is when you pay once and skip all the monthly payment. And luckily, Alt Text AI is a deal on here. And a lot of these deals are just limited amount of time. So if you see something that you really like, just grab it, because there's also a 60-day return policy. So you have a very nice long time to try it out. And by 2 months, you'll surely know if you like it or not. But I guarantee you would. I mean, for $29 is a very reasonable price for all the features that's packed into this application. Let's look at all the plans that it has. So you get lifetime access and you get all the upgrades, you get everything that I described earlier. And for tier one, you get all the features that are included. And it's 150 credits per month. So if you have a small site, WordPress, then I think that this is sufficient if you just want to try it. But if you have a little bit larger site, I would recommend probably tier two, and someone like me with a lot of images, probably use a tier three with a one-time purchase. I don't think that you could go wrong with this, because you could also do a free trial and see if you like it, or just pay $29, and that's just one-time payment to have this at your hand. It's like having an assistant and saving you a lot of manual work for this. So here are my final thoughts on alt text and the software. Alt text is crucial, and for several reasons. The first reason is for accessibility. For those who use screen readers who may be low vision, it is crucial that we describe the content so to provide a fair experience for those who rely on the software. Number two would be SEO. By describing the image, you increase the optimization in the search engine, which in turn will drive traffic to your site. Number three would be the user experience. A lot of times website would crash and the alt text will appear. This will help with the flow of the information, your content, and not be an interruption. And also a lot of social media platforms are using alt text. I highly recommend you use it to reach a wider audience. And lastly, if you design for a federal site, it's required by law for all federal sites to be accessible to all. So what I would like to see in the future of this software is the ability to do D-links, which is a longer description for more complicated images, such as a map or a complicated graph. But I think that for what it does now and for the price, it would really help me save a lot of time and a lot of money, that it's sufficient enough to do. And it's a wonderful product. I would have to manually describe all my images, especially if I have a big website. And of course, technology could do a lot, but you still need that human touch and human review. And I appreciate that this software allows you to edit and allows that human component to come in to make sure that it's as optimized, it's as accurate as possible. I also want to note that there are two types of alt text, and the other type of alt text is a decorative, for example, a line or something that doesn't convey content. Those type of images, you should not use alt text, you should use no alt text. But for those that convey content, then this software is perfect. I want to thank you so much for watching this. Let me know your thoughts, and let me know if you work with 508, if you'd like to see more videos about this and chat more about it. It's definitely my passion to make websites accessible for all. And don't forget to subscribe, and have a great day. See you in the next video.